Let's once again pay a visit to the late 90s and early 2000s, a period in which skateboarding hit its peak of popularity. The mid to late 90s was all about things being extreme, including extreme sports like snowboarding, skateboarding, and BMX, which had a short boom period where they became the most popular things ever. Every kid either had a skateboard or a BMX or a fucking razor scooter, and every kid would try to learn tricks to varying degrees of success. It got fucking ridiculous. There was also the fucking fingerboards, and that's not even the most ridiculous thing. It got to a point where toy companies were trying to market regular things like yo-yos and jump ropes and shit as extreme! It was a meme before memes. And yeah, I'm not overlaying a clip. That's actually me doing the extreme! I've heard that so many times throughout my childhood that I can actually just mimic it perfectly. It's actually pretty impressive. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that. As we entered the 2000s, we had Tony Hawk game after Tony Hawk game. We had that fucking god-awful Rocket Power show that I hate. But movies were relatively untouched by this fad, at least during this point in time. They did do a BMX movie back in the day. It was called Rad. It fucking sucked, but the soundtrack's really good. But off the top of my head, there's only 2 skateboarding movies that came out during this period that I can think of. One is Lords of Dogtown, which is a biopic that was very well made and actually kind of good. And then there's Grind. Now, Grind is a funny case because this is actually 3 or more trends colliding with each other at once. In the early days, the Jackass generation was tied closely to skateboard culture. The two eventually hit a fork in the road where skateboarding would lose its massive mainstream appeal, but stupid antics on camera would maintain its popularity for a bit longer. I attribute this to Jackass impersonation shit being extreme, but not taking the skill that skateboarding or BMX had. Like, I had a skateboard, and I was capable of riding it in excessively dangerous situations and not dying, but that's about it. Either way, I would say skateboarding's big fad status probably dropped off between 2004 and 2005. Now, before anybody gets upset, I meant it stopped being a thing that everyone wanted to do around this time. You stopped seeing every kid in the world on a skateboard. It still has its loyal fan base now. People still do skateboarding both recreationally and professionally, but it's not really where it was. However, right before the fad died, Hollywood decided they wanted to crash through the gate and get its slice of the pie. I mentioned 3 trends. Well, the movie has some very obvious Jackass cameos like Wee Man and Preston Lacey, and Bam has a supporting role in it, and we all know Bam is synonymous with both skateboarding and Jackass. And the 3rd trend, the gross out comedy trend. That's right, that fad hadn't been completely done in by Freddy Got Fingered, and it was still kicking and screaming as it was dragged to the abyss. Granted, this movie is not excessive with it. I wouldn't label it exclusively as a gross out comedy. It just has a few moments that are in tune with gross out humor because that fad was still kind of going on at this point. This movie came out when I was in the 7th grade, which was the peak of my skateboarding phase and right around the start of my Jackass phase, so naturally I thought it was a fucking great movie. When I was in grade 7, I underwent sort of a social transformation. I hate to have to speak in these terms because it's embarrassing now, but I feel for the sake of storytelling I can push through it. In elementary school, I was kind of a loser. I was a weird kid that only really hung around other losers, and Adam. But by the time I moved up to middle school in grade 7, everything sort of got shook up. You got separated from all your old elementary friends, and on top of that, you had a bunch of kids from other elementary schools in your area that only went up to the 6th grade transferring in. It's like one jarring change into another jarring change because 2 years later you had to go through that same shit again, but on a much bigger scale when you moved to high school. I hate the TDSB, but anyway. In middle school, I started hanging around a more vast friend group. I wouldn't use the term popular because they were still alternative and kind of losers, but they weren't lame like I was when I was younger. And as a group, we were heavy into things like skateboarding, Jackass, various adult animated shows, and 80s and 90s culture. So naturally, we were all going through this phase, and the movie Grind was a must-see. Now, I didn't see it in theaters or anything, but my friend Patrick, who I mentioned in the CKY3 video, was one of the few people with a digital cable package, and this was when VOD, video on demand, was new. So every Friday we'd go to Patrick's house, his mom would order pizza, and we'd throw on Grind or Airheads or something on the video on demand. That was like the stream streaming service of the day. You know, you had your cable package, you could pick whatever movie was free on there. Anyway, little did we know, this was as good as life was ever going to get. We fucking loved this movie. It got a little tiring, we'd throw it on relatively often. It was kind of like the movie Road Trip, how it was presented, but it was with skateboarding. The characters were loud, obnoxious, and kind of sexist, but we didn't care because we were 13 and we were loud, obnoxious, and also kind of sexist. As I got older, I moved on from the skateboarding fad and forgot about the movie grind completely. I became obsessed with other comedy movies like Haggard, Superbad, Anchorman, Hot Rod, Big Lebowski, etc. But here's the thing, no matter what you get into, it is inevitable that you're going to fall out of it. And furthermore, it is inevitable that it's going to find its way back into your life at some point down the road. Years later, I was at a friend's house and they had Grind on DVD and we watched it. Now, when that one thing finds its way back in your life, there are only two absolutes. You're either gonna fall in love with it all over again, or you're gonna fucking hate it and yourself for having liked it in the first place. This is what happened when I experienced Grind for the second time in 2010, 7 years after I originally saw it. I just could not get into it at all. It was cringe, it was bad, it was fucking like I was throwing up. Okay, no, I wasn't. But it was fucking borderline unwatchable. My friends loved it because they were stoned, but quite frankly, I thought it was fucking terrible, and I have not even entertained the idea of watching it since. Until today, because now, almost twice the time having passed since my first gap with this movie, I'm going to watch it, and you're gonna get a fresh reaction, you know, from when I'm done watching it. I'm gonna talk about it. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I will be able to see the good in 2003's Grind once again, but I fucking doubt it. See you in 2 hours. Oh my god. Okay, that was kind of hard to sit through, but honestly, I was expecting it to be much worse. Nevertheless, I hope the 20 people who watch my videos appreciate this. Where to fucking start? Grind stars Mike Vogel, who is actually in another movie I'll be talking about this month, so I guess this is an unofficial Mike Vogel march, even though I don't think the next video is going to be done before April. But anyway, Mike Vogel plays Eric, an aspiring pro skater who just wants to be sponsored, but problem is he hasn't wowed anybody yet. The exchange with the skate shop owner where he's trying to get a free board is actually pretty funny, and I did laugh when he's just going to school and just randomly fucking wipes out on his skateboard. That happens when you ride a skateboard sometimes. But a 24-year-old man on a skateboard walking into high school, that's yeah, I think the cops would be called on that one. Also, I didn't mention this on the first take, and I was really satisfied with it, so I didn't want to go back and redo it, but Bam appears in this movie. Guess this makes it kind of an unofficial part of Child of the Jackass generation, but I'm not gonna do the graphic. During the exchange between Bam and Eric, they really exaggerate Bam's character. Like, he's playing himself, but he's playing like a cartoony version of himself, but also a sanitized version, because he doesn't swear once. This movie's PG-13, there's no swearing. And Bam basically gets a handful of his own decks from a skate shop just by walking in, which I don't think that's how it works. Even if you're sponsored or pro, first off, why would he, not pay? He's fucking millionaire. Secondly, why would he need to get a new deck while he's presumably touring around? I imagine a pro skater probably has several spares in his fucking trunk or whatever, but I'm getting off topic. Bam's in the movie, and I'm gonna talk more about his role as the movie progresses. We get to meet Eric's friends in the supporting cast. We have Dustin, who's played by that guy from the OC, who's the uptight, nerdy one. And we have Matt, who's the fucking ass clown of the crew, and don't worry, I'm gonna be ripping on him whenever I can. Oh hey, it's that guy who eats pieces of shit for breakfast. There's this whole dynamic between Eric and his dad, where his dad's like, if you're not in school, you're down at the hardware store working with the lacquer or whatever. And they don't really play on it anymore because he disappears from the movie once the plot actually takes off. But I'm guessing it's another case of, just play the clip from Freddy's Dead.
Dad? Be like me. Be like me. Be like...
God, I hate the Matt character. Probably because when I was a kid, I thought he was cool, and I would sometimes try to act like him, and now reflecting on it, I feel like crossing the 401 without looking. Let's just move on. I'm definitely gonna be talking about this character more.
See the way she was looking at me? I was like...
So part of the framing device is that Eric and Dustin work a McJob at a fast food chili restaurant, which, okay, is this a thing? I know the States has had a lot of weird fucking fast food concepts compared to Canada. You people are fucking disgusting and will eat anything, but this is this a thing? Oh hey, it's Jim from Mission Hill, but no, fuck this scene. I've had fast food chili before. Wendy's chili is pretty fucking nasty unless on french fries, but the kicker is here, Wendy's does not exclusively serve chili. I don't think anybody would go to a fast food place where the gimmick is chili. I won't lie, Jim does a funny bit where he claims they messed his order up and goes to get his actual order after having ate the wrong one and gets it, but a chili restaurant, are you fucking serious? Oh, and another fun bit part, that is the voice of Bill Dauterive as the manager. Neat. And alright, I'll give credit, there's one funny part here. They absolutely nailed the thing where like a manager at a dead-end job will try to like over-encourage you and say you're great and have a future to make you think like you're going somewhere working there, but really they just need you so they don't have to do actual work, and it's a dead end. It's how you become complacent at a shitty job. Don't ever fall for that. Alright, enough of the chili restaurant scene. Oh, for fuck's sakes, the love interest is just at the chili restaurant. Because of course, everybody loves chili, and the kids are having a birthday party at the chili restaurant. Do you know how fucking economically stupid it would be to open a fucking chili restaurant? Chili is not a high demand food, especially not fast food quality chili. You can make chili at home for like 15 bucks in a big pot. It lasts like weeks. I can do it in like an hour, not counting simmer time. Okay, if I keep going on about the chili restaurant, this is just gonna be a review of the chili restaurant concept from Grind, and that's not what I'm going for. So we are now moving forward. I'm done with the chili restaurant. I didn't even mention that the love interest is like implied as a love interest, but it's one of those ones where her buddy's too shy to talk to her. She gets no character development. I'm gonna be getting into that, you know, how stupid that is. But the fucking chili restaurant. Okay, now this is like firing my ADHD up. Let's move on. So Eric and company go to a local skate demo, and we see some recognizable faces. Bam, Mike V, one of the only black dudes in the entire movie. Seriously, I remember watching this, and at the end I was like, oh wow, we haven't seen a black person in this movie since the beginning. This movie is just really white. And I'm not some guy who's gonna sit here and trash on a film because there's not enough representation. But honestly, skateboarding is pretty multiracial, especially at this point in time. There were a lot of black pro skaters. Some of them are really good too. So at this point, we're introduced to Jimmy Wilson, the original character pro skater of the movie that all the guys idolize. The boys look on in awe as everybody loves him, women are running up on him, but Eric is more enthralled by the fact that he gets to skate for a living. Because, you know, if you didn't get it, Eric loves to skate, wants to make a career out of it, and Matt loves to be a sex pest. Apparently he wants to be a career sex offender too. Oh cool, more skating B-roll to pad out a fucking 60-minute movie. I mean, I know the movie was geared towards skaters, clearly it didn't reach because it fucking bombed at the box office, but like these skate shots really don't make this movie more palatable. If we wanted to see a skate demo, we'd go to a fucking skate demo or watch a skate video. The most interesting thing is seeing all these old product placements, like shit that's not around anymore or shit that is still around but has changed so much. Remember Sobe, Sob, however it was pronounced? That shit ain't around anymore. But then there's some old Xbox ads, which, hey, great company. To maintain the PG-13 rating, by the way, they play clean versions of licensed music. You can actually hear the swear words getting cut out. Because of course they would sink that low. They really wanted all the kids to come and see this movie. So the main characters get all jealous at Jimmy Wilson smashing some clam in his tour bus, and Matt goes on to sexually harass some women again. And I look at this, and I realize, I'm like, I liked this character as a kid. I made jokes emulating this character as a kid, and I pray to God that nobody remembers it, because I've drawn a blank, but since I like this character, I'm afraid that I might have reenacted some shit that he did, and I'm like, please, nobody ever remember this. I really don't want this, like, coming back and canceling me in the future. And I just want to note that if this movie took place in the modern day, somebody would see him getting all fucking weird and grabby with those girls, and Matt would probably be getting his teeth kicked in.
I represent the Release of Twins Foundation. You guys want to make a little donation?
What are you talking about?
About releasing those twins. They look uncomfortable in their little cages. Come on. Okay.
Oh, and if you wanted to know if the characters were likable or not, there's a scene where they're handing out merch and Matt rips a board off a kid. Again, if this were real, not even in the modern day, he'd probably get his ass beat, and the main character just takes it instead of giving it back to the fucking kid. Oh god, and I swear that deck that he has, I remember somebody I knew had that deck.
I had to skin a 9-year-old for that, man. You needed a board.
Take it from me, trying to get on a tour bus, this pretty much never works, although it was pretty awesome having CKY's Mark Hanna throw me and my friend Andrew off Bam's tour bus. And oh no, Dave Foley, not you too. Alright, the demo tape bit is pretty funny. I can't imagine how often pro skaters would just get bombarded with demo tapes during this period. This is a period where people were getting into skateboarding and people who thought they were good enough wanted to get noticed. It's almost like trying to get noticed on YouTube, it just ain't gonna happen.
How does Jimmy have time to watch all those?
Well, you know, he's worked out this technique where he doesn't watch any of them.
Leave it to Dave Foley himself to actually make me laugh more than this entire movie has thus far. So at this point, the boys decide the logical option is to go and follow Jimmy Wilson around on tour in hopes of getting noticed for their skating. And I love how in the background when Shooter McGavin and his wife pull in, he's like lifting his head like he was going down on her. Like, that's a pretty ballsy shot for a PG-13 movie. Although I don't see how physically that would work, you know, if someone is driving unless she has a dick, which, hey, I'm open-minded. I'm progressive, and does this actually now count as progression ahead of its time because of that? Let's move forward. At this point, they have everything in place except a vehicle, and that's where Sweet Lou comes in with his van. He's the cool ladies man type character, played by that dude from Cabin Fever. You see, we all thought we were Sweet Lou with the ladies, but we were probably more like Matt, and fucking god, I'm gonna embarrass myself so bad that I just decided to pull the fucking pin on this, which, now that I look back, I don't think Sweet Lou is any better of a character to emulate.
Dude, didn't you graduate like 6 years ago?
Yeah, but they didn't.
He's a molester! He's a child molester! Ah!
Oh good, he's a groomer, and they tell him he can groom cross-country to get him to drive them around. In retrospect, this character is fucking really creepy and gross, like, ugh. I did not recall this, oh my god. Oh, and Kane Hodder has a nice cameo. He's one of the women that Lou abused, his father. He's gonna smash him with a bat, get him Hodder, fucking show him the wrath of Jason. I don't have much of a joke for this. That's Kane Hodder. He played Jason in the Friday the 13th movies. Anyway, they have a van, so now we can just continue meandering through the plot. So we get introduced to who I guess are the rival skaters of the movie, and in contrast to your regular average, you know, skater punk type characters, you have a bunch of gangsta skaters, which of course they're all pasty ass white guys, because I think it would have literally caused the death of one of the filmmakers if they cast one fucking black person in the movie. Anyway, one of them is Aaron from Jackass, and how much does Aaron McGeehee suck that he can't even get the role as the lead rival skater, despite Jackass the movie having come out the year before and being a huge hit. God, these guys do not emanate the gangster thing at all, and it's not even a white thing, it's just like, why are they like 80s fucking wankster types? Ugh, okay. Bad. The main characters decide to go under the name Super Duper Skate Team, I don't know why, and they arrive at the competition, but because they took no time to register, naturally they don't get in. And oh, let's get more B-roll of skating to pad this movie out. Be careful not to show the faces and reveal that these totally aren't the actors doing the tricks right now. Alright, so the part where the group sneaks into this party was actually kind of funny. I got a cheap laugh out of it, but then they get into the party, and they do this thing where it's like,
Pop, burn quick. What's up, man?
and they show all these skaters who clearly just showed up for a paycheck and a walk-on. And then Sweet Lou starts getting all predatory, and you know, you really think about it, we have come a long way in 2 decades, where at one point acting like this was considered cool, and now you look at him and it's like, I'm expecting like the fucking creepy horror music, and he's gonna go SVU someone. Oh, and the nerdy guy gets shot down, and then Sweet Lou comes in all creepy and shit. While Bootleg McConaughey's doing his thing, there's this part where Matt runs into a girl, and she's there to meet some skaters, and I'm just gonna have to show you this exchange, because I can't do it justice.
I drove down from Springfield to meet a pro skater.
So did I.
You're from Springfield.
No, I came here to meet some skaters, man.
Why do I always end up talking to the gay guy?
What? No!
That part was pretty funny, I won't lie. Alright, so Eric goes up to Jimmy Wilson and tries to hand him his demo tape, and Jimmy Wilson's being a dick, having none of it, so Eric decides to try and get Bam's attention. We get a bunch of white people dancing. Alright, so calling back to my earlier thing where I talked about Bam, you know, it's weird. The trailers made it seem like he was gonna be a relatively big part of the movie. This was when he was at his hottest. He was one of the most popular skaters at this time, but there was a pretty large gap between his introduction scene and this scene, and it's an even bigger gap between this scene and the next scene that he's in. I'm gonna speak a little more on that as we get near the end, but I just gotta say it's really uncomfortable now seeing him drink a beer on camera, because he was obviously drinking a real beer, and we all know what happened to him in the modern day, and it's just like, it's just uncomfortable, you know, knowing what we know now kind of thing. There's a pretty lame but relatively well choreographed dance number before the wanksters get the main characters tossed by security. I will say it is kind of funny that Sweet Lou didn't get tossed. Also, I feel I should point out, it's funny how Bam and Aaron must not have been there on the same shooting days, because it's well documented that Bam and Aaron did not get along on Jackass. But I think there's another reason why Bam and the wankster skaters never share a scene, which I'm gonna get to later. On the road, the Super Duper Skate team runs into quote-unquote,
Guys, look at this wicked dicks!
oh my god, like, I totally forgot that was a term that was thrown around. It was so widely used, and like, we used to say it all the time, I'm ashamed to admit, but that's fucking bad that at one point the term
Wicked dicks!
was acceptable to use. I'm surprised we got away with it for as long as we did. We get a kind of funny little war between the two cars before Bobcat Goldthwait shows up as the hotel manager. There's a cleaning montage followed by another skating montage. I just started hitting the fast forward button at this point. So we get a little motivational speech, some fart jokes, Bobcat's being creepy, oh, another skate montage, followed by a singing in the car scene. Again, I'm still fast forwarding the movie at this point. One thing I'm gonna say is there's horrid mid-run drag in this film, and that's like really bad for a movie that's already kind of shit. And oh my god, they have another chili restaurant. Like, why do they have, what is this fucking movie's obsession with the goddamn chili restaurant? Why is this a chain in this universe that's like in different states? Oh, and at the chili restaurant we get an obligatory early 2000s gross out moment with a kid puking on Adam Brody. But let me go back to the fucking chili restaurant. Was the fucking director gonna try to get into the fast food industry? Lord knows he wasn't gonna be successful at directing films, and oh, he went on to, you know, continue producing movies, because that takes a lot of skill. I don't know why this fucking bothers me, but the concept of a chili chain is just so fucking stupid. That would not happen. That could not happen. With somebody who was like really just like dead set on this fucking running gag, and not gonna go on this rant again, okay, deep breath, calm blue ocean, calm blue ocean, calm. Like, there's just so many options you can go with when it comes to coming up with like a fake fast food chain for your fucking movie or TV show. Like, you could just have a concept where it's like, you know, they take some like irrelevant 1930s actor like Barton McLean and they're doing like a fucking burger restaurant. Or they could come up with a really like weird fucking gross one where it's like molestation burger and it's kind of like Firehouse, but instead of founded by firemen, it's like founded by registered sex offenders. And like, they could have made fucking Bill Dauterive all like creepy and like fucking weird, and like you had the guy at the counter and he's like, welcome to Molestation Burger, how can I molest you? Oh, and here's the Tom Green cameo. It's interesting that Tom Green and Bam Margera were in the same movie but shared no screen time. Like, there's that crossover is just never gonna happen between Tom Green and Jackass. In a sad, pathetic way, this is like, it's like a mad world but for skateboarding and Jackass, and I'm really sorry for making that comparison. I do not mean to tarnish the fucking prestige of It's a Mad World. Tom Green's character is just some burnout skate shop owner who discovered Jimmy Wilson in the 90s, and he does this weird Tom Green shit, and hey, there's a skate demo, so more skating montage. Ah well, at least they used a banger Billy Talent song for this one. And hey, Sweet Lou is prowling again. Oh god, that's Ryan Sheckler. That's right, I forgot he was in this movie. I actually forgot about him altogether. For those of you who don't know or care or remember, Ryan Sheckler was this like child prodigy skateboarder, and he plays a little shitbag in this movie. I remember he got a reality show in like 2007 that lasted for a couple seasons. I really think it was like the last fucking attempt to try and make skateboarding appeal to like the mass younger audience, or it was just MTV doing another reality show. It was really bad, and it was like fake, like more fake than Viva La Bam. Okay, well nothing's more fake than Viva La Bam, but I'd say I'd get to it later, but no, I'm not gonna review his shitty fucking reality show. Let's keep going. Now, I don't know if kids were like this, I never really went to skate demos, but the kids start harassing the super duper skate team for like free merch, and they get run off. This movie's just getting really dumb really fast. This movie has this problem where it's really trying to go with the skating gimmick, and when it's not showing the skating gimmick, it feels completely pointless. Like, it has very little going for it. It's not really funny, there's a few moments, the characters have like no chemistry with each other. It feels like it was both written by a 13-year-old and by an old out-of-touch screenwriter who only knows the modern youth through the eyes of someone who hasn't been modern youth in a very long time. Also, hey, that's where Captain Kirk fought the Gorn. Oh, Sweet Lou's being a fucking weirdo again. Now, at least this movie gets the fundamentals of being a screenplay. They hit the lowest point at the beginning of the third act when Sweet Lou's chick steals the van, they end up in the desert, Matt gets a lizard in his pants, and we get more period-appropriate music with Headstrong by Trapped. And another skate montage. I don't know why they went so all in on the skate montage shit. Like, I get it, you're trying to attract the skateboarding fan base, but it's like, it kind of just breaks up the movie. You could have done like half of what you did and you'd get your point across. So finally, it looks like things are gonna be looking up for Eric when he runs into Bam, and Bam recognizes him, and okay, I just gotta say, Bam's acting is really wooden in this.
So this is crazy, huh? Yeah, it is pretty insane.
I don't know why. He's not a bad actor. He is able to play to the camera. It's proven in Haggard and some of his other non-Jackass appearances. But here he seems like he's really phoning it in. Back on track, things are finally starting to look up for Eric. You know, he's with Bam, he's in the VIP area, he's got his foot in the door. He pulls his tape out, his Sponsor Me tape, and he's like, Bam, I would like you to send this to Jimmy Wilson. And this gets me thinking, like, wait, what? Why would you want him to pass it on to Jimmy? That's Bam fucking Margera. At this point in time, he was one of the most red-hot popular skaters in the world. Like, fuck Jimmy. Bam could probably set you up with, like, fucking Element and, like, more fucking sponsorships than you can imagine if you have what it takes. That is, like, Bam should have been the guy, not this Jimmy Wilson character. Remember that I said that for later in the video. So Eric's hopeful, he's talking with Bam, and then things kind of go sour when Love Interest returns. I actually haven't talked about her because, you know, the movie hasn't really talked about her either. She's just the love interest. I don't even know the character's name. Anyway, Bam's being a dick to her. Apparently they're fucking, and she's following him around on tour. Bam doesn't want her around. In his own words,
I don't want you here, okay? The last thing I need on this tour is some haggard-ass chick lurking around.
So naturally, Eric stands up for a random love interest. Bam's offended, gives him his tape back, does that weird hand-wavy thing that he literally never did in real life at all. It's just exclusive to Grind, and it blows Eric's chances of Bam scouting him or helping him in any way. Bam isn't seen in the fucking movie again. He literally grabbed his paycheck on the way out and went back home to do
Whatever the fuck I want.
And so we're back to square one. Or are we? Because now, almost 3/4 into the movie's runtime, they finally had an actual exchange between the main character and the love interest. And of course, she immediately wants to fuck him. That's, were there parts of this movie cut? It feels like there were parts of this movie cut. It's giving me those Freddy Got Fingered vibes with how one-dimensional the love interest is. At least in Freddy Got Fingered, that was the joke.
I don't care about Jules. I just want to suck your cock.
But sure, let's just go with it. They're a couple now. Accept it. The movie will be over quicker. Meanwhile, Matt and Adam Brody need something to do to justify their paychecks, so they break into Jimmy Wilson's bus, plant a tape, and of course there's a feces joke because 2003. I'm gonna just try and move to the end here as quick as possible, because quite frankly, I think most of the viewers dropped off during my little history lesson at the start of the video, so for the few of you that stayed, I wanna, make it seem like we're going somewhere with this. Oh, no, hey, Grind, stop that. You can't just start cramming fucking character development between the fucking main character and the love interest in the last 20 minutes of the picture. That's not how films work. Okay, so they actually get you with a pretty good fake out here. Like, it didn't get me, obviously, but I imagine if you're a kid and you're seeing this movie, you think this is gonna be Eric's big moment. He does this dangerous stunt with an ATV where he gets momentum and jumps a bunch of shit, and then he fucking bangs into the porta potties and Preston Lacey comes out. But the big kicker is Jimmy Wilson's bus was passing and he didn't make it on time, so the whole thing was entirely pointless. And then Taz starts giving him shit for skating on the property, and honestly, that's not Taz, but I actually thought it was Taz for a second.
But for once, I'm gonna have you skaters take care of your own mess.
Sweet Lou cleans no man's poop.
Eric has finally hit the point where he wants to give up, he wants to go home, lowest point in the movie, but his friends give him a motivational speech, and the movie goes on for 15 more minutes. You know, if the movie would have ended with him realizing that his dream isn't going to come true, it might have taught a lot of people a realistic and valuable lesson, instead of them having to figure it out when it's too late to pivot to something else. I hate my life, I can't fucking do this anymore. Okay, so earlier in the movie, Matt pushes a clown over, and this actually gets a callback because we find out his dad, played by Randy Quaid, ran off on him to open a clown school, and then they go to the clown school to call in a favor, to get a vehicle, to go to the Pro Jam, whatever. This movie just keeps going, and I find it weird that Randy Quaid is in this movie for on-screen maybe like 10 minutes at the most, and he got relatively high billing in the credits. And out of nowhere, Sweet Lou falls in love with Matt's sister, he gets creepy again, so I get one last creepy Lou moment. Again, it just goes to show how far we've really come, where there was a point in time where we actually thought the best way to curb predatory sexual behavior was for that predator to find love, and, I can show one picture that really just throws that theory out the window. We get another skate montage to build us up for the ending skate montage, because, and then there's, like, the final skate montage, which is, like, that should be the ending skate montage. There's too many fucking skate montages in this movie. Like, did you know that you could actually pad out a 45-minute movie with about 60 minutes of skating B-roll? That ratio may not be accurate, but here's an incest joke. Alright, so I got a cheap laugh out of their attempt to get into the skate competition, because it was kind of funny. They grab a little person, played by Wee Man, and try to pass him off as a Make-A-Wish kid. Then we have like 6 skate montages to go through, and the payoff? So here we go. One-dimensional love interest set them all up for the contest, and her stunt double can skate, who would have thought? I'm not gonna lie, they really do pile on the montages in this movie, but the music is relatively okay, at least for someone who grew up around that type of music. It's a lot of pop punk, emo type shit. It's like guilty pleasure music for anybody born in the early to mid 90s. Besides the Simple Plan shit, fuck that garbage. Oh, here's a funny callback. The chick who stole their van earlier stole the Wankster Skater's Escalade, and we finally get to the final showdown. But before that, I need to conclude all that Bam Margera build-up, because I've found very little production info on this movie. Nothing on IMDb, nothing on Wikipedia. I don't have the DVD or the Blu-ray, so I don't know if there's any sort of behind-the-scenes shit. I didn't care to look. But, I can't be sure of this, but I think Bam initially, at least in the early phases, was supposed to be a combination of the main antagonist and the Jimmy Wilson character. He was supposed to be the final boss, so to say, of the movie, but they couldn't get him to commit to a bigger role. It all makes sense, it all adds up, from them meeting at the start to what I imagine was a planned interaction interaction in the party scene to Bam being a dick. I think Bam did have a bigger part, but he didn't want to do it, so they threw together the random underdeveloped wankster skaters. I feel I should take the time to explain that wankster is a term that is lost to time, but it basically means wannabe gangster. So basically they reshot a bunch of scenes with the wankster characters in order to make it kind of mesh together and to salvage the movie and to give the main characters some sort of antagonist. But yeah, I'm fully behind the theory that Bam Margera was meant to be like the big fucking final showdown in this movie. Who knows why it didn't happen or if any of what I said is correct, but here we are. So the final showdown between the leader of the Gangsta Kids and Eric commences, and they use Boom by POD. Refer to my POD debacle video, which quite frankly is probably one of my favorite early videos, where I say that Boom was one of the most overused movie trailer or movie songs in the fucking history of 2000s movies. Because yeah, it's cringe. We get this really engineered skate duel that has almost no build-up because they wasted a bunch of build-up on Bam. And okay, he just busted out a McTwist, and you're telling me this guy isn't sponsored? I knew someone who snagged a fucking sponsorship for busting out a Christ Air in front of a scout, and it's like, that's not saying a Christ Air is an easy trick to do, but a McTwist is like, that's like, you gotta know your physics and shit. That's like one of the more difficult tricks to pull off, and he isn't sponsored. Anyway, in the end, Eric wins with a trick that makes absolutely no fucking sense from a perspective. I think it's a combination of like, I think he fucked it up the first time and then they shot it again and it just didn't match up. Tony Hawk did an analysis of it on one of those analysis videos that they do, like, and it's just impossible. The editing makes it look even more ridiculous too. It's clearly a fuck up. They use the magic of editing, whatever. Eric wins, there's a big celebration. The Wanksters and Eric's crew now have a respect for each other, and back at the local park, love interest brings Jimmy Wilson and they get to go on tour with him, and a year later we have a scene that mirrors the opening scene with Bam and Eric's interaction, but now Eric gives the kid a signed board, something he'd eventually grow tired of and throw in a closet because skateboarding would crash and burn as a fad in the following years. The kid would probably get into something like, I don't know, he'd get into something else like ketamine or pussy or something. And that was grind, and honestly, it was pretty bad, but it's not as bad as I was expecting to be. I can't say I completely hated it this time around. I know I came in expecting to hate it, and it was stupid, it was dumb, but it had some moments in it that were kind of funny. It had a pretty good soundtrack. Whoever put the soundtrack together was more in touch with modern culture than anybody else who fucking worked on the creation of this could have possibly been. The only issue is the story is really flat. Some aspects have aged absolutely terribly, and they didn't do nearly enough with skateboarding as a concept. Many aspects were completely underutilized. Like, you could have had the main characters interact with more pro skaters. The only real pro skater who they interact with is Bam, and he's not around all that much. Most of the pro skaters who appear in this movie are walk-on cameos, if even that. Like, the highest profile skater who got called out by name was Bob Burnquist. Now, I don't know skating as well as some other people. I know some of the big names and anybody associated with Bam, but they really didn't dive into the world of pro skateboarding. It seems more fictionalized. It's definitely more respectful to skateboarding than, say, Ready to Rumble was to professional wrestling, but it feels like they just did not want to go deep into it because they wanted it to flow so as not to isolate the non-skateboarding fan base. But even your average skateboarding layman knows who Tony Hawk, Bam Margera, and like the higher-ups are, and he doesn't even appear in the movie at all. There's no Tony Hawk in this. You'd think the big skateboarding movie they would have shelled out for a Tony Hawk cameo. Considering this was supposed to be a big skateboarding movie and everything, you'd think they'd go a little more all out on the appearances. They thought appealing to skateboarders would just be showing skate footage. Like I said earlier, we could just watch skate footage whenever we wanted to. What they did was shaft necessary shit like developing the characters, making sure the characters have chemistry, developing the love story, making sure that there's a clear-cut antagonist. All that got pushed out of the way for stupid jokes and skating B-roll. And instead of a good skateboarding adventure movie, we just kind of got a dumb early 2000s comedy, and yeah, it would hold the attention of a stoned-out teenager or kids who liked skateboarding, but that's pretty much it, which makes it kind of dumb and pointless. ridiculous. Like, they really didn't go out of their way to make it anything more than something to keep a fucking preteen entertained for an hour and a half, and that hurt the overall movie. It's supposed to be a coming-of-age story, but a good coming-of-age story is something you can rewatch throughout your life and enjoy. This seems like a cheap picture thrown together by someone who recognized how popular a fad was without actually understanding the fad or those who follow it, and really doing the bare minimum to make it appealing. A better example of a well-written but fictionalized sort of rise to the top skateboarding story is present in Tony Hawk's Underground, what I would consider to be the best skateboarding game of all time, or at least the best in the Tony Hawk series. It was dumb, but that was the point. Honestly, they should have just taken the story from that and made a movie out of it. All in all, I'm not nearly as hateful of this movie as I was when I rewatched it 10 years ago, but I did not fall back in love with it either. Like, some other shit does that for me, not Grind. It was forgettable, it was bad, but it was benign enough. It could have been better, but it also could have been far worse. I personally think the biggest downfall of this movie, besides the poor pacing and one-dimensional story, is the fact that it is a PG-13 movie. And it's like, they were really trying to, they wanted it to appeal to kids, I get it. You have to make a movie PG-13 to reach a wider audience, but Grind was released in the summer of 2003. It made $5 million against a $6 million budget, so it was a complete fucking bomb. Now, this can be attributed to the decline in public interest with skateboarding, but it can also be attributed to being released the same Friday as Freddy vs. Jason, which was one of the hottest releases of that summer. And that movie was rated R and it made a killing, but I also do understand why they didn't make this rated R, because it's not like a movie a parent's gonna take their kids to, but it's a movie that, you know, a couple teenagers, preteens, whatever, they're out during the summer and they're like, hey boys, let's go catch a picture at the cinema. They wouldn't talk like that. I should know they wouldn't talk like that. I was a fucking kid back then. Looking at it, I don't think there's really any possible way this movie could have succeeded, but I think it could have done a little better if some changes were made to both the movie itself and its target audience. But hey, that's what happens when you make something literally just to be a cash grab based on a dying fad. If you grew up around the same time as me and were into the same things as me, you probably wouldn't like this movie very much. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're just like, you want to watch like a shitty comedy movie. It's your typical road trip style comedy movie from the dark age of cinema, and it did about as well as it could have done, and it's about as remembered as I'd expect it to be. I guess the best parts of this movie for me are really just the memories watching it with my friends when we were too young to drink and too stupid and awkward to talk to girls. So there we go, my rundown and review of Grind. I hope you enjoyed it. It went on for a lot longer than I wanted it to. I hope maybe you had some memories of your lost childhood return to you during the course of this video, and if you didn't, I hope you found what I had to say funny. Next video, I think I'm gonna do that rank and review of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. It's a slasher series that I'm not a huge fan of, but I have a history with it, so it's gonna be a little bit interesting, or it's just gonna be me rambling on again. I don't do closing lines anymore, so
I'm in a dry spell, man.
To be in a dry spell, you've had to been in a wet spell.
I've had sex.
Yeah, with a human, though.
Who's making these rules, man?
What you say is what you get! Fishing for the answer with a lie and thinker! Walk on me and don't forget! Hard to get a grip until these broken fingers! What you say is what you get! Fishing for the answer with a lie and thinker! Walk on me and don't forget! Hard to get a grip until these broken fingers! But today I don't feel pretty, and I'm tired of trying to fit right in. Don't think that you're so great, 'cause being great must suck. We don't always see the bright side. We all need ego suicide. You hung my head today, but I have licked my wounds and carried on. Everybody needs some sympathy. That I seem to miss my chimney. Reality is truly scaring me. So set aside and firmly say, what you say is what you get. Fishing for the answer with a lie and thinker.
a fucking chili restaurant.